Hey guys, tonight we're diving into something that's always felt like a mystery. Dreams. You know those wild, chaotic sequences your brain throws at you while you sleep? The kind where you're flying one moment, and the next you're late to an important meeting with your high school gym teacher, because of course you forgot to study. It can be weird, unsettling, and even a little absurd. But here's the thing, dreaming is essential to understanding how our brains work when we sleep. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Also drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where we're all tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Dreams. Those vivid, bizarre experiences that we all have but never fully understand. You've had them, I've had them, and we've all woken up from a dream so strange that we were convinced it had some deep hidden meaning. We've all probably heard someone say that dreams are a way of processing emotions or that they have hidden messages about our waking lives. But what exactly are dreams and why do we experience them? Let's start with the basics. A dream is simply the mental experience that occurs during sleep. These can happen during any of the sleep stages, but they are most vivid and bizarre during a particular phase called REM, rapid eye movement sleep. During REM, your brain is as active as it is when you're awake, yet your body is paralyzed to prevent you from acting out your dreams. Talk about your brain multitasking, right? But what are dreams, really? Scientists still don't have a definitive answer, but most agree on one thing. Dreams are the brain's way of processing everything from memories to emotions. It's like your brain's nightly house cleaning routine, but instead of tidying up your room, it's organizing your thoughts, emotions, and experiences into sometimes strange, but often meaningful narratives. And then there's the psychological angle. Some theories suggest that dreams are our subconscious mind's way of working through unresolved issues. You know, those things you avoid confronting while you're wide awake, like that nagging feeling you've been procrastinating on something important. But hey, it's not all serious business. Your brain also gets a chance to throw in some bizarre scenarios. Ever dreamt of chasing after a bus that somehow turns into a giant hamster? Well, don't be surprised. It's all part of the weirdness. Now let's take a step back. Here's something that might make you question your reality. Researchers believe that we all dream, but sometimes we don't remember it. The average person can dream up to 4 to 6 times a night, but some people forget nearly every dream they have. So why do we forget them? Some scientists argue that our brain actively suppresses them, maybe because it's just easier to wake up and get on with life without dealing with flying pigs or school exams that never end. But whether we remember them or not, one thing is for certain, dreams are as much a part of our biological rhythm as breathing. Every night your brain dives into the deep waters of sleep, and it's during this time that you venture into the strange world of dreams. Even if you don't recall your dreams every morning, rest assured they're still happening, working their strange magic on your mind. Alright, now that we've dipped our toes into the dream world, let's zoom out a bit and take a look at the bigger picture, sleep cycles. You probably know that sleep isn't just one long stretch of unconsciousness, but have you ever wondered what exactly happens when you hit the hay? Picture this, you slip under the covers, close your eyes and slowly drift off. But what's really going on inside your brain while you sleep? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. It's always fun to see where everyone is joining from. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The world of sleep is far more intricate than we often realize. When we talk about sleep, we usually think of it as one long, uninterrupted stretch of time. But in reality, sleep is divided into several stages, each with its own purpose and features. Your body moves through these stages throughout the night, cycling between them multiple times as you sleep. At the most basic level, sleep can be divided into 2 main categories, non-REM sleep and REM sleep. Non-REM sleep consists of 3 stages, ranging from light sleep, stage 1, to deep sleep, stage 3. REM sleep, which is where most of our dreaming occurs, comes after these stages and is a whole different animal. The first cycle begins as soon as you fall asleep, with your brain diving into the stages of non-REM sleep. Stage 1 is the lightest stage of sleep, where you're easily awakened and your muscles start to relax. This is the stage where most of us experience those hypnic jerks, or those sudden muscle twitches that can jolt us awake for a moment. It's a weird feeling, but it's totally normal. Then your brain moves into stage 2, where things get a little deeper. This is when your body starts to cool down, your heart rate slows, and your muscles relax even more. You're still not in deep sleep yet, but your body is preparing to settle in for the night. Stage 3 is the deepest, most restorative stage of non-REM sleep, sometimes called slow-wave sleep. This is where your body does most of its healing, repairing, and rebuilding. This is the deep restorative sleep that makes you feel refreshed and recharged in the morning.
When you're in stage 3, your brain is barely active, which is why it's hard to wake up. If you're awakened during this stage, you might feel groggy or disoriented. After completing a full cycle through these stages, your body shifts into REM sleep. It's during this stage that your brain becomes highly active, almost as active as when you're awake. But don't be fooled. Even though your brain is firing away, your body is in a state of paralysis, preventing you from acting out your dreams. This is where the magic happens. The vivid, strange, and often nonsensical dreams that we remember or don't remember take place. The average person goes through about 4 to 6 sleep cycles each night. As the night progresses, each REM period gets longer, with the final one lasting up to an hour. That's why your most intense, vivid dreams tend to occur closer to morning. But here's something that might surprise you. Some researchers argue that dreaming, and especially REM sleep, may serve a far more complex role than simply being the brain's way of processing memories. Some believe that REM sleep is vital for emotional regulation, memory consolidation, and even problem solving. It's as if your brain is saying, hey, I'm going to shuffle through all this emotional and cognitive data while you're sleeping. Let me help you process that breakup, that tough project at work, or that unresolved conflict with your friend. Of course, there's still plenty of debate about why REM sleep is so crucial. Some scientists still argue whether it's really necessary for memory consolidation or if it's just a byproduct of other brain processes. But whatever the case, REM sleep remains a vital component of the sleep cycle, and without it, we'd miss out on the brain's nightly reset. Remember that, as you fall deeper into sleep, you're not just recharging your body. Your brain is at work, preparing for tomorrow by processing all the experiences, emotions, and memories of today, and your dreams are the mysterious byproduct of that process. Now that we have a solid understanding of the sleep cycle, let's turn to one of the most fascinating questions about dreams. Why do we dream at all? This is where science and psychology meet in a thrilling debate that leaves many mysteries unsolved. Why do we have these bizarre, vivid mental experiences every night? Are dreams simply random brain noise, or do they serve a deeper, more meaningful purpose? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And don't forget to drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. There are countless theories about why we dream, and the answers can vary depending on who you ask. Some scientists believe that dreams are just a byproduct of the brain's activity during sleep, while others argue that they have a deeper function. The truth is, scientists still don't fully agree on why dreams exist, but they have come up with several plausible theories. Let's dive into a few of them. One of the most popular theories comes from Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. Freud argued that dreams were the unconscious mind's way of processing repressed thoughts, desires, and memories. According to Freud, when we sleep, our conscious mind takes a back seat, allowing the unconscious to surface. The result? Dreams that are filled with symbols and metaphors that represent our hidden desires and unresolved conflicts. It's as if your mind is trying to make sense of the things you're too afraid or unwilling to confront during the day. This Freudian approach was groundbreaking, but it's also been heavily critiqued. Critics argue that Freud's theories are too subjective, and that dreams are not necessarily about hidden desires. Still, the idea that dreams have symbolic meaning has persisted in psychology for over a century. Even today, many people turn to dream interpretation to uncover hidden meanings behind their nighttime visions. On the other side of the spectrum, there are theories that lean more toward the biological side of things. Some researchers suggest that dreams might be nothing more than the brain's way of sorting through the day's experiences. This theory is known as the memory consolidation theory. According to this view, dreams are the brain's method of reviewing and storing memories, emotions, and experiences. While we sleep, our brain processes the information we've gathered throughout the day and decides what to keep and what to discard. Dreams, in this case, could be the byproduct of this process, almost like a mental file cleaning session. While the memory consolidation theory is widely accepted in the scientific community, it doesn't fully explain why dreams can be so bizarre, surreal, or emotional. If all dreams were simply reflections of our waking experiences, you'd think they'd be a little less like swimming in a pool of spaghetti, and a little more like, well, reality. Here's where the activation synthesis theory comes in. According to this theory, dreams are just random electrical signals sent by the brain during sleep. These signals are then interpreted by the brain's higher cognitive functions, which try to make sense of them by constructing a story. This means that the content of our dreams might not have any inherent meaning at all. It's simply the brain's way of making sense of random neural activity. While this theory seems to downplay the psychological importance of dreams, it does explain some of the more absurd and disjointed elements of our dreams. Ever woken up from a dream where the plot didn't make sense, and the people in it weren't even people you know? That's the activation synthesis theory at work. Your brain is scrambling a bunch of random pieces together, trying to form something coherent.
But here's where it gets interesting. Some scientists still argue whether dreams are simply random or if they actually serve a function beyond memory consolidation and emotional processing. Could it be that dreams help us solve problems or inspire creativity? There's growing evidence that suggests dreams might play a role in creative thinking. Some artists, musicians, and scientists have credited their breakthroughs to inspiration from dreams. The German composer Beethoven, for example, claimed that his most famous symphonies came to him in dreams. Even in modern science, some researchers believe that dreams help us process problems and come up with solutions. Think about it. When you're awake, your brain is busy, distracted by the noise of the world around you. But when you sleep, your brain gets the chance to work through things in a more relaxed and less cluttered state. Could it be that dreams are your brain's way of solving problems without you even realizing it? Scientists are still unsure about the full purpose of dreams. But one thing is clear: dreaming is an essential part of the sleep process. Whether they are a way of processing emotions, consolidating memories, or working through creative problems, dreams are much more than just random brain activity. And maybe, just maybe, they're one of the most fascinating parts of our nightly routine. Now that we've explored the various theories behind why we dream, let's dig a little deeper into the brain itself and what's happening on a neurological level when we dream. How exactly does the brain create those surreal, often bizarre images we experience in our dreams? Is there a particular area of the brain responsible for these nightly escapades, or is it a more complex process? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. When it comes to understanding dreams, the key player in the brain is none other than the hippocampus. This small seahorse-shaped region deep within your brain is the epicenter of memory formation. During the day, the hippocampus helps you process and store memories, while at night it continues to play an essential role in dream formation. The hippocampus works in tandem with other regions of the brain to weave together memories, emotions, and even random fragments of the day into a coherent, or sometimes incoherent dream narrative. However, the hippocampus isn't the only region involved in dreaming. Enter the amygdala, the brain's emotional powerhouse. This tiny almond-shaped structure is responsible for processing emotions like fear, joy, and anger, and it's particularly active during dreams. This is one reason why our dreams can be so emotionally charged. Have you ever woken up from a dream feeling anxious, angry, or downright terrified? That's the amygdala doing its thing, firing up with emotions even when you're sound asleep. It seems the brain doesn't leave its emotional baggage at the door when it enters dreamland. But that's not all. There's another fascinating part of the brain that plays a huge role in dream activity: the prefrontal cortex. This area, which is responsible for higher cognitive functions like decision-making, self-control, and planning, is relatively inactive during REM sleep. In fact, it's so inactive that it's thought to contribute to some of the more illogical and bizarre aspects of our dreams. Without the prefrontal cortex keeping things in check, our brains are free to roam without limits. No wonder we dream about running away from giant robots while trying to finish a math test we forgot to study for. While this might sound like a complete breakdown of rationality, some scientists argue that the lack of prefrontal cortex activity is actually a good thing. The fact that our brains go unchecked during REM sleep might be the reason why we come up with such creative and unconventional solutions in our dreams. Some of the world's greatest inventions, artistic ideas, and even scientific discoveries have been inspired by dreams. Think of it as your brain's very own innovation lab, a place where logic takes a back seat and creativity reigns supreme. But there's a darker side to the brain's activity during sleep, especially when it comes to nightmares. Nightmares, which are essentially disturbing or frightening dreams, are thought to be caused by an overactive amygdala. When the brain becomes overwhelmed with fear or anxiety, these emotions are amplified in dreams, resulting in vivid, terrifying experiences. It's as if the amygdala has hijacked your dream and turned it into a horror show, all while you're still curled up in bed. Interestingly, scientists have also noticed that nightmares are often linked to stress and trauma. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, for instance, frequently causes nightmares that are direct reflections of the traumatic experiences a person has endured. This supports the theory that dreams can serve as a mechanism for the brain to process unresolved emotions or experiences. Nightmares might be your brain's way of confronting fears that are too overwhelming to face when awake. Of course, while the brain is busy processing all these emotions and memories, it's also dealing with a ton of neural activity. During REM sleep, the brain is operating at full throttle, firing off electrical signals and activating various regions, much like it does when we're awake. However, the signals sent during REM sleep are slightly different than those during wakefulness, which is why the brain can experience such vivid, surreal dreams. It's almost as if your mind is free to explore every nook and cranny of the subconscious, creating a dreamscape where anything can happen. One interesting twist to all this is the role of neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that help transmit signals in the brain, and they are crucial in regulating the sleep process. During REM sleep, the neurotransmitters dopamine and serotonin are active, which is part of the reason why dreams can feel so intense and emotional. These chemicals play a role in regulating mood and behavior, and when they're active in REM sleep, they help create the vivid, often emotional experiences we associate with dreams. So in essence, the brain is a busy beehive during sleep, working hard to process everything from emotions to memories. But what's remarkable is how the brain pieces these fragments together into something that resembles a story, a dream. Whether it's an absurd adventure, a terrifying nightmare, or a confusing series of images, your brain is tirelessly working to create a narrative from the raw material it's gathered throughout the day. And while we might not always understand the logic behind these dreams, the truth is that they are as natural to the brain as any other mental process. Next time you wake up from a dream that makes no sense at all, remember this: your brain was simply doing what it does best, processing and organizing your inner world while you were off in dreamland. Now that we've delved into the inner workings of the brain and the mechanics of dreaming, let's take a look at one of the most intriguing stages of sleep, the one where all the wild, vivid dreams happen: REM sleep. Why is it that this stage of sleep is so crucial for dreaming, and what exactly is going on during REM sleep that makes it the most dream-filled phase of the night? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And don't forget to drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Imagine this: it's around the middle of your sleep cycle, and you're drifting peacefully between different stages of sleep. Then suddenly, your brain lights up like a Christmas tree, your eyes start moving rapidly beneath your closed eyelids, your breathing becomes irregular, and your heart rate increases. This is REM sleep, a stage that occurs in cycles throughout the night, and is the stage where you experience the most vivid dreams. What makes REM sleep so special? Well, for starters, your brain is as active during REM sleep as it is when you're awake. During this phase, the brain waves are much faster than in other stages of sleep, and they resemble the patterns of waking thought. But here's the kicker: while your brain is firing on all cylinders, your body is essentially paralyzed. The brain sends signals to inhibit muscle activity, effectively preventing you from physically acting out your dreams. It's almost like the brain is creating a vivid movie in your mind while simultaneously making sure you stay safely in your bed. REM sleep typically occurs about 90 minutes after you fall asleep, and it repeats every 90 minutes or so throughout the night. The first REM period might last only 10 minutes, but as the night progresses, each REM stage gets longer. By the time you're reaching the end of your sleep cycle, the final REM phase can last up to an hour. That's why your most intense and memorable dreams usually occur toward the end of your sleep, closer to when you wake up. But why does REM sleep seem to be the epicenter of dreaming? One possible explanation comes from the idea that during REM sleep, your brain is actually rebooting. It's processing emotions, sorting through memories, and organizing information in a way that doesn't necessarily happen in the waking state. Essentially, it's like the brain is putting together the pieces of the emotional puzzle that it's collected throughout the day. And dreams, in this case, might be the byproduct of this mental sorting process. They're the mental snapshots of the brain working hard to organize your emotional experiences and memories. It's also during REM sleep that the brain's limbic system, which is responsible for processing emotions, is particularly active. This is why our dreams tend to be so emotional. Ever woke up from a dream feeling utterly drained, joyful, or even disturbed? That's the limbic system at work, helping your brain process those intense emotions while you sleep. Interestingly, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logic and rational thought, is essentially turned off during REM sleep. This is what leads to the often nonsensical and illogical nature of dreams. Without the prefrontal cortex to filter the wild imagery and thoughts, your brain lets loose. Anything goes, so expect flying pigs, endless waterfalls, or even a cat wearing a business suit to show up. In REM sleep, you're not bound by the rules of the waking world. Your brain is free to create whatever it pleases, but it's not all about fun and games in dreamland. While the brain may be busy creating these surreal emotional stories, REM sleep is also believed to play a crucial role in memory consolidation. Researchers believe that during REM sleep, your brain is not only processing emotions, but also reviewing and storing memories from the day. In essence, your dreams might serve as a mental filing system, helping your brain decide what information to keep and what to discard.
Think about it. When you're awake, your brain is bombarded with information, everything from what you had for breakfast to the details of that random conversation you had with a friend. During REM sleep, your brain goes through all this info, consolidating it into long-term memory. It's a little like a librarian sorting through a mountain of books and deciding which ones are important enough to keep. Here's something even more fascinating. Some studies suggest that REM sleep may be linked to creativity. Some of the most significant artistic breakthroughs in history were inspired by dreams. For example, the famous Russian chemist Dmitry Mendeleev came up with the periodic table after dreaming of its arrangement. Talk about your subconscious working overtime. This idea is supported by the fact that during REM sleep, your brain is capable of connecting seemingly unrelated ideas. This is why you might wake up from a dream with an idea or solution that you hadn't thought of during your waking hours.
So, REM sleep isn't just the realm of strange, random imagery. It's a crucial time for memory consolidation, emotional processing, and even creative problem solving. It's no wonder that researchers continue to study this sleep phase to uncover all its mysteries. Whether you're processing your emotions, sorting through your memories, or coming up with groundbreaking ideas, REM sleep is the ultimate mental playground. It's your brain's way of staying active, creative, and in tune with the ebb and flow of life. The next time you wake up from a dream, you can thank your brain for the wild ride. REM sleep isn't just about the images. It's your brain's way of doing some serious behind-the-scenes work while you sleep. As we continue to explore the intricate world of dreams, let's turn our attention to a key aspect of why we dream: memory. You might have heard that dreams play a role in processing memories, but how exactly does that work? What's the connection between the memories we build during the day and the dreams we experience at night? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Memory, in its most basic form, is the brain's ability to store and retrieve information. But how do our dreams factor into this? Well, scientists believe that one of the key functions of dreaming is memory consolidation, an essential process where your brain takes all the random bits of information and experiences you've gathered throughout the day and sorts them into long-term memory storage. And yes, you guessed it, this process mainly happens during sleep. During sleep, especially during slow-wave sleep, that deep non-REM sleep we talked about earlier, your brain starts to organize memories from the day. It works like a librarian, picking out the most important experiences and storing them in the right mental filing cabinet. But that's not the end of the story. Once those memories are sorted, your brain shifts into REM sleep, where the real magic happens. REM sleep doesn't just store memories, it processes them. The brain takes these stored memories, sometimes even the most trivial details, and integrates them into existing knowledge. It's like the brain is running through a mental rehearsal of the day, revisiting events, emotions, and interactions, and organizing them in a way that makes sense. For example, let's say you had a stressful day at work. You might not consciously recall every small moment of tension, but your brain will. During REM sleep, it might replay those moments. Maybe not literally, but it'll revisit the emotions and stress, helping you process them. This is why emotions like anxiety, joy, or frustration are so often present in dreams. They reflect the emotional tone of the memories the brain is processing. But here's the interesting part. The brain doesn't always sort memories logically. Sometimes those seemingly random or bizarre elements in our dreams come from what's called memory reactivation. Essentially, the brain pulls up fragments of memories from the day, or even from years ago, and then creates strange scenarios by weaving these fragments together. Ever had a dream where an old friend shows up in a setting that has absolutely nothing to do with them? That's the brain linking memories and creating new experiences from them, often without any rhyme or reason. Some researchers believe that dreams also help forget unnecessary memories. Imagine trying to keep every single detail of every conversation you've ever had in your brain. It would be overwhelming. The brain's process of memory consolidation isn't just about saving information, it's also about filtering out the irrelevant stuff. During sleep, your brain sifts through all the noise of the day, throwing out what it deems unnecessary, and storing only the essentials. This is why we often forget the small details of our day but remember the major events. The minor stuff doesn't stick around for long, and instead our brains focus on the things that are emotionally significant or deeply impactful. The connection between memory and dreams goes beyond just sorting and organizing. Some studies suggest that dreaming can help with learning and problem solving.
The brain, while dreaming, can actively practice new skills or refine existing ones. If you've been learning something new, like playing an instrument or preparing for an exam, it's possible that your brain is revisiting and reinforcing those memories in your dreams, essentially giving you a mental rehearsal. In fact, studies have shown that people who dream about practicing a task tend to perform better at that task the next day. It's as if your dreams are preparing you for the real-world challenges that lie ahead. There's also a fascinating idea that dreams can help us process emotional memories in a way that prevents us from being overwhelmed by them. For example, if you've experienced trauma or emotional distress, your dreams may act as a form of emotional release, helping to alleviate the mental burden that those memories carry. In this way, dreams serve as a tool for emotional regulation, allowing you to make sense of distressing events while you sleep. But not all dreams are pleasant. Nightmares, which often emerge from unresolved emotional stress or trauma, reflect the darker side of this process. Researchers believe that nightmares might be the brain's way of processing and confronting difficult emotions, like an intense emotional detox. Even though nightmares can be disturbing, they may serve a necessary function in helping the mind work through trauma or fear. In some cases, it's been suggested that confronting our worst fears in a dream state helps us better manage them in our waking lives. And speaking of nightmares, researchers are still exploring why certain memories or emotions become stuck in our dreams and lead to frequent nightmares. Could it be that some experiences are so deeply emotional or unresolved that the brain keeps revisiting them, hoping to work through the emotional fallout? It's a theory that continues to be debated in the scientific community, but it's clear that dreams, whether they're sweet or scary, are far more than just a random jumble of thoughts. They're a vital part of the process by which our brain manages, consolidates, and refines the memories and emotions that shape our waking lives. The next time you wake up from a particularly vivid dream, think about it. Your brain was hard at work, not just creating strange images and scenarios, but sorting through the chaos of your life to make sense of it all. It's like a nightly therapy session that's happening in your mind, helping you store, forget, and process everything you've experienced.
Now that we've taken a deep dive into how dreams play a role in memory processing, let's look at another fascinating aspect of dreaming: lucid dreaming. This isn't just about recalling the weird adventures your brain has while you sleep. It's about being aware that you're dreaming while still deep in the dream itself. Some people can even control the direction of their dreams. But what's going on in the brain during lucid dreaming? And why does it seem like only some people can access this odd state of consciousness? So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Lucid dreaming is like this secret doorway in your brain, where the rules of the waking world no longer apply, and you get to take the reins. The most basic definition of lucid dreaming is when the dreamer becomes aware that they are dreaming while still within the dream. It's that aha moment where in the midst of a surreal scenario you realize, wait, this isn't real, I'm dreaming. Some lucid dreamers take it a step further and can even control the events within the dream. Imagine being able to fly, visit distant planets, or confront your worst fears, all while knowing it's just a dream. What's happening in the brain when we experience lucid dreams? Well, it turns out that lucid dreaming is closely tied to the prefrontal cortex, the same region that governs rational thinking, decision-making, and self-awareness. In non-lucid dreams, the prefrontal cortex is largely inactive, which is why dreams can be so illogical and bizarre. But during lucid dreaming, this part of the brain lights up, allowing the dreamer to become aware of their dreaming state. Essentially, lucid dreaming is like a moment of self-consciousness in the dream world. Here's where it gets really interesting. Scientists still aren't entirely sure why some people can lucid dream while others cannot. Some research suggests that lucid dreamers may have a more active or responsive prefrontal cortex during sleep. However, it's not all about brain structure. Some studies point to training. Yes, you can actually learn to lucid dream through various techniques. One popular method involves doing reality checks throughout the day, like asking yourself, "Am I dreaming?" so that you eventually develop the habit of questioning reality even while in the dream state. With practice, you can increase the chances of realizing that you're dreaming, and thus enter a lucid state. Lucid dreaming can be incredibly powerful, offering a sense of control that is usually absent in the unpredictable landscape of ordinary dreams. Many lucid dreamers use this control for positive purposes, such as confronting phobias, exploring their subconscious minds, or even practicing physical or mental skills. There have even been reports of people using lucid dreams to rehearse for real-world events, like performing in front of an audience or giving a presentation, with positive effects on their waking lives. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
As with most things, there's a flip side to lucid dreaming. Some people report that it can be mentally exhausting, especially if they try to control their dreams too much. There's also the issue of false awakenings, a phenomenon where you dream that you've woken up, only to realize later that you're still dreaming. This can create a disorienting loop, where you think you've woken up multiple times, only to discover you're still stuck in the dream world. Interestingly, lucid dreaming has also been linked to sleep paralysis, that creepy feeling when you wake up and can't move, often accompanied by vivid hallucinations. Some people who practice lucid dreaming frequently report sleep paralysis episodes, though the exact relationship between the two remains unclear. It could be that the heightened awareness of the dream state in lucid dreaming triggers the paralysis response, or perhaps it's simply a result of interrupted sleep cycles. Despite these potential downsides, the allure of lucid dreaming is hard to ignore. It's like your own personal adventure land, where anything is possible. The idea of being able to interact with your dreams consciously, to explore places, situations, and experiences that might be completely out of reach in the waking world, is undeniably fascinating. Whether you're soaring through the skies, battling dragons, or just chatting with your subconscious, lucid dreaming offers an unmatched sense of freedom and creative potential. So what's going on in your brain when you're lucid dreaming? In short, a blend of self-awareness, cognitive control, and imagination. Your prefrontal cortex comes online while the rest of your brain is still running the dream show, allowing you to guide the narrative and even control the outcome. If you've ever experienced a lucid dream, you know the thrill of being the author of your own dream story. If not, maybe it's time to start practicing those reality checks and see where your dreams could take you. As we continue our journey through the dream world, it's time to shine a light on something that can sometimes feel a bit darker: nightmares and night terrors. These are the unpleasant flip sides to the beautiful dreams that many of us cherish, and they come with their own set of mysterious brain activity. But what exactly causes nightmares, and why do some people experience them more frequently than others? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And don't forget to drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Nightmares, those terrifying vivid dreams that often leave you in a cold sweat and with your heart racing when you wake up, are a part of the human experience. But while dreams often serve to help us process emotions, memories, and unresolved thoughts, nightmares seem to act as a mirror to our deepest fears and anxieties. So what's going on in the brain during a nightmare? Well, research has shown that the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, plays a huge role. The amygdala is responsible for processing emotions like fear, joy, and anger, and it's particularly active during nightmares. It's as if the brain is reactivating past fears, amplifying them, and forcing you to face them head-on in the dream world. This makes sense when you consider that many nightmares are triggered by stressful or traumatic experiences, such as a traumatic event from your past, or anxiety over an upcoming challenge. Interestingly, while the amygdala is firing away during nightmares, other parts of the brain are also involved. The hippocampus, which is responsible for memory, might be reactivating past events, while the prefrontal cortex, which helps with rational thought and decision-making, becomes less active. This combination of heightened emotions and lack of rational control can lead to the disturbing, often illogical quality of nightmares. It's like your brain is trying to relive a traumatic experience without being able to make sense of it. In some ways, nightmares might be a way for the brain to deal with unresolved trauma or anxiety. For example, people who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, often experience vivid nightmares that replay scenes from the traumatic event. This could be the brain's attempt to process and confront the trauma in a way that's safe within the confines of a dream. However, while nightmares may help the brain work through these emotions, they can also make the process more difficult, especially when the fear becomes too overwhelming to handle. It's not just trauma that can trigger nightmares. Stress is another big factor. When we're stressed, our brains are more likely to produce vivid dreams, including nightmares. These dreams are often fueled by feelings of powerlessness or fear. For example, a person might dream they're being chased, falling, or in some other form of danger, common themes in many nightmares. Stressful events, like job problems, relationship issues, or financial struggles, can manifest as nightmares in the dream world, creating scenarios where the brain is grappling with anxiety in an exaggerated form. But here's something interesting. Not all nightmares are triggered by negative emotions or trauma. In fact, scientists have found that even positive stress, like excitement about an upcoming event or a major life change, can also lead to nightmares. It's almost as if your brain becomes so overloaded with emotion that it can't quite sort through all the mental noise, resulting in a nightmare that seems totally out of place with your waking life. the frequency of nightmares can vary widely between individuals. Some people have them occasionally, while others suffer from chronic nightmares, experiencing them several times a week. For those who experience nightmares regularly, it can lead to sleep disturbances, causing fatigue, stress, and even depression. The disruption to the sleep cycle can have a significant impact on overall health and well-being, especially when nightmares begin to interfere with one's ability to get restful sleep. Now, there's another category of frightening sleep disturbances that isn't quite the same as a nightmare: night terrors. Night terrors are different in that they tend to occur in the first few hours of sleep, during non-REM sleep, rather than during REM sleep, where most nightmares happen. Unlike nightmares, which you usually remember when you wake up, night terrors are much more difficult to recall. People who experience night terrors may wake up suddenly in a state of intense fear, often screaming, thrashing, or even getting out of bed, but they typically don't remember the episode in the morning. Night terrors are more common in children, though adults can experience them as well. The cause of night terrors is still not fully understood, but they are believed to be related to disruptions in the sleep cycle, particularly during the transition between sleep stages. Some researchers speculate that night terrors may be linked to stress, sleep deprivation, or an underlying sleep disorder. While nightmares and night terrors can be terrifying, there are ways to manage them. For people who experience frequent nightmares, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is often recommended. CBT for nightmares focuses on helping individuals confront their fears and change the way they respond to their dreams. Another technique that has gained popularity is imagery rehearsal therapy, where individuals mentally rehearse a more positive version of their nightmare while awake. This helps reframe the nightmare into a less distressing experience. For those with night terrors, establishing a consistent sleep routine, reducing stress, and ensuring adequate rest can help minimize the frequency of episodes. In some cases, medication may be used to help manage the underlying causes of night terrors, especially if they are linked to anxiety or a sleep disorder. Nightmares and night terrors might be unpleasant, but they also serve as a powerful reminder of the brain's ability to process emotions, stress, and trauma. They may feel overwhelming at times, but like all dreams, they are a reflection of the brain's attempt to make sense of the world, both the good and the bad.
As we continue our exploration of the dream world, let's shift our focus to a fascinating question. What role do emotions play in our dreams? Why do certain feelings like fear, joy, or sadness seem to dominate our dreamscapes? And how does the brain incorporate these emotions into the strange narratives we experience? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Emotions and dreams go hand in hand. From the vivid, emotionally charged nightmares to the uplifting and joyous dreams we sometimes have, emotions play a huge part in shaping the experiences we have while we sleep. But why is it that certain emotions seem to dominate our dreams while others barely show up? The answer lies in the way the brain processes emotions during sleep. The amygdala, which we've talked about before, is central to this process. As the emotional hub of the brain, the amygdala is responsible for processing feelings like fear, happiness, anger, and sadness. During sleep, particularly during REM sleep, the amygdala becomes highly active, and this heightened emotional activity helps explain why dreams can feel so intense. In fact, the amygdala's involvement in dream creation might be why we often experience emotions so strongly in our dreams, sometimes even more intensely than in real life. Take fear, for example. We've all had that dream where we're running from something, whether it's a monster, a flood, or an entire army of giant spiders. These nightmares are a reflection of the amygdala's emotional processing, turning our everyday anxieties or fears into nightmarish scenarios that feel real enough to wake us up in a panic. But not all emotional dreams are negative. Emotions like joy and excitement can also make their way into our dreams. Ever had a dream where you're running through a field of flowers or winning the lottery? These happy dreams often occur when we feel a sense of accomplishment, relief, or excitement in our waking lives. In fact, positive emotions can often be more vividly experienced in dreams, especially when we've recently undergone a period of happiness, success, or positive change. It's as though our brain is savoring those moments, replaying them in a heightened emotional context while we sleep. So how does the brain know what emotions to emphasize? One theory is that the brain is using dreams to process unresolved or lingering emotions from the day. In essence, dreams act as an emotional filtration system, helping to either release or reinforce certain emotional states. Let's say you've had a rough day at work, perhaps you felt overlooked or frustrated. Your brain may revisit those emotions in your dream, intensifying them to help you better process and release the emotional weight of the experience. In this way, dreams serve as an emotional detox, helping to relieve stress and anxiety before you wake up. Interestingly, the brain doesn't just process emotions it's already familiar with. It also processes future emotions or situations that we fear or anticipate. Have you ever dreamt of something happening that you were worried about, like failing a test or getting into an argument with a loved one? These anticipatory dreams are thought to be the brain's way of preparing for emotional challenges ahead. The brain might be rehearsing potential scenarios in your dreams, helping you mentally navigate future events so that you can handle them more effectively when they occur in reality. Emotions also affect the way dreams are structured. For example, a fear-based dream, like a nightmare, might be chaotic, disjointed, and fragmented, reflecting the sense of anxiety or panic that you feel. Joyful dreams, on the other hand, tend to be more fluid, often involving pleasant settings or scenarios that feel warm and inviting. The emotional intensity of the dream can change the way the dream unfolds, with negative emotions often leading to dark, unsettling images, and positive emotions resulting in lighthearted, uplifting experiences. Here's another interesting twist. Dreams of loss, like losing a loved one, an object, or a sense of security, are incredibly common. They can be sparked by actual loss or simply the fear of losing something important in our lives. While these dreams can be distressing, they often serve as the brain's way of confronting those underlying feelings of uncertainty or fear of loss. Dreams of this nature can help us deal with the grief process, whether the loss is real or imagined, by offering a controlled environment to explore those emotions. But not all emotional dreams are easy to interpret. Some dreams carry with them an odd mixture of emotions: fear, joy, anger, and confusion, blended together into a dream narrative that leaves you feeling disoriented upon waking. These mixed emotion dreams may reflect the complexity of human emotions themselves. After all, our emotions aren't as simple as just feeling happy or sad. They're often a blend of different feelings that conflict with one another. So, when your dreams reflect this emotional complexity, they may simply be mirroring the tangled, multifaceted nature of your waking emotional state. Ultimately, dreams and emotions are deeply intertwined, with the brain using the dream world as a tool for processing, understanding, and releasing emotional content. Whether you're facing fears, celebrating successes, or dealing with grief, your brain is working overtime in the dream world, turning emotions into stories that help you make sense of your internal world. The next time you wake up from a particularly intense or emotionally charged dream, take a moment to reflect. Your brain has been busy sorting through your feelings, making sense of them, and helping you navigate the emotional landscape of your life, both past and future. As we venture deeper into the world of dreams, let's explore a fascinating topic: the role of culture in shaping our dreams. While dreams are a universal experience, their interpretations and the significance they hold vary widely across different cultures. How does culture influence the way we dream, and do our societal beliefs and values impact the nature of the dreams we have? So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Dreams may be an intrinsic part of the human experience, but the meaning and importance of those dreams vary depending on the cultural lens through which they are viewed. While many of us see dreams as personal, private experiences, some cultures regard them as powerful tools for divination, spiritual communication, or even guidance from ancestors. For example, in certain Native American traditions, dreams are believed to carry messages from the spirit world, offering advice and insight into one's life journey. Similarly, in many African cultures, dreams are seen as a way of communicating with the deceased, offering advice or warnings. In Western culture, however, dreams are often viewed through a more psychological lens, as reflections of our subconscious thoughts, fears, and desires. This perspective was famously championed by Sigmund Freud, who believed that dreams were a window into our repressed desires and inner conflicts. While Freud's theories have evolved over the years, the idea that dreams reveal hidden truths about ourselves remains influential in Western thought. But cultural differences in the interpretation of dreams go beyond just the meaning behind them. They can also influence the way people experience and remember their dreams. For instance, in some cultures, people are taught to place great importance on dreams from a young age. In Japan, the concept of yume dream is closely tied to the notions of fate and destiny. Dreams in Japan are often seen as carrying messages from the future, and they can even be thought to predict important events or outcomes. As a result, Japanese people may place more emphasis on recalling and interpreting their dreams than those in other cultures. In contrast, in many Western cultures, dreams are often dismissed as merely random brain activity or meaningless fragments of thought. This dismissive attitude toward dreams may mean that fewer people in the West place much stock in dream interpretation or even bother to remember their dreams upon waking. However, in cultures where dreams are seen as significant, people often keep detailed dream journals and discuss their dreams with family, friends, or even spiritual leaders. Another fascinating cultural difference comes from the field of dream interpretation. While Western psychologists may focus on uncovering the hidden meanings behind symbols in dreams, other cultures take a more holistic approach.
In some indigenous cultures, dream interpretation isn't seen as an individual process, but as a collective one. In these cultures, dreams are often shared with the community, and the dream's meaning is determined by a group of elders or spiritual leaders who provide their interpretations based on communal experiences and traditions. In contrast, dreams in Islamic culture hold significant importance, especially in the context of prophetic or true dreams. According to Islamic belief, true dreams are a form of divine communication and are meant to offer guidance, warnings, or insight into the future. Dreams are also divided into categories: those from God, those from the self, and those from the devil. Understanding the origins of one's dreams is seen as an important step in interpreting them, and in some Islamic cultures, people actively seek out spiritual guides or scholars to help interpret the meanings of their dreams. The way dreams are interpreted also varies significantly depending on the region. For instance, in Latin America, there is a long tradition of dream divination, where dreams are analyzed for their symbolic meaning. The Mayan and Aztec cultures, for example, placed a strong emphasis on dreams as a way of understanding one's future. Today, many Latin American cultures still value dream interpretation, often turning to traditional healers or spiritual leaders to help them decipher their dreams and glean any important messages. Interestingly, while certain themes like fear of falling or flying appear across cultures, the interpretation of those symbols can differ. For example, in some cultures, dreaming of water might symbolize emotional cleansing or renewal, while in others, it may represent danger or a threat to one's stability. Similarly, dreaming of animals can have a variety of meanings depending on the culture. In African traditions, animals often represent spiritual guides, while in some Western contexts, animals may be associated with repressed aspects of the psyche or instinctual urges. One more thing that culture influences is the idea of shared dreams or dreaming together. This phenomenon occurs when two or more people experience similar dreams or dream about the same subject matter. In cultures that place heavy importance on dreams, this is sometimes seen as a form of collective unconsciousness, where the dreams are believed to have a shared significance for the group. While this is often seen as anecdotal or speculative in Western cultures, some Native American and African cultures treat shared dreams as significant, linking them to community events or spiritual meanings. The influence of culture on dreams is a powerful reminder that the mind isn't a blank slate, it's shaped by the society we live in, our experiences, and the cultural context we grow up in. In some ways, our dreams are not just personal, they're shaped by the collective beliefs and traditions of the cultures we're a part of. So, whether you're interpreting a dream of falling as a sign of anxiety, a warning, or a spiritual lesson, remember this: dreams may not just be reflections of your own mind, they may also be shaped by the greater cultural tapestry that surrounds you, and the meaning of a dream can vary as widely as the cultures that interpret them.
As we venture further into the strange and wonderful world of dreams, let's take a look at something many people have experienced: recurring dreams. If you've ever had a dream that seems to repeat itself over and over, you know just how eerie and puzzling it can be. But what causes these recurring dreams, and what might they be trying to tell us about our waking lives? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Recurring dreams are, as the name suggests, dreams that repeat themselves. They can be nearly identical each time, with the same characters, settings, or even the same emotional tone. For example, you might dream of being chased by the same figure, repeatedly getting stuck in traffic, or finding yourself at the same place over and over. These dreams may happen over weeks, months, or even years, and they can leave you wondering what they really mean. So why do some people experience recurring dreams, while others rarely encounter them? It turns out that recurring dreams are often linked to unresolved emotions, stress, or anxieties. The theory is that when the brain is unable to process certain thoughts or feelings fully, those emotions manifest in our dreams, and if those emotions are left unresolved, they may continue to appear in future dreams, like an endless loop. This is especially common with recurring themes of being chased, losing control, or experiencing failure. For example, if you've been feeling overwhelmed or trapped in your waking life, whether due to work, relationships, or personal goals, these feelings may be reflected in recurring dreams. If you feel constantly pursued by an unknown figure in your dream, it could be a symbolic representation of something or someone you're avoiding in real life. Your subconscious mind might be trying to alert you to this, hoping that by presenting the issue repeatedly in the dream world, you'll confront it and find a solution in the real world. Psychologically, recurring dreams often suggest that the dreamer is not dealing with some significant aspect of their life. It could be an issue they're choosing to ignore, an emotion they're unwilling to face, or a problem they haven't found the solution to.
Some psychologists believe that the brain uses recurring dreams as a way of trying to bring up unresolved issues, hoping that eventually the dreamer will take notice and address them. Interestingly, trauma can also play a significant role in recurring dreams. People who have experienced emotional trauma, such as the loss of a loved one, a difficult breakup, or a life-altering event, are more likely to have recurring dreams that center around the trauma. These dreams often revolve around themes of helplessness, fear, or sadness. But what's particularly interesting is that some researchers believe these recurring dreams may be the brain's attempt to process the trauma in a way that the conscious mind has been unable to do. The recurrence of the dream could be a sign that the brain is still trying to work through the unresolved emotional pain caused by the traumatic event. So, what can you do if you have recurring dreams that leave you feeling disturbed or stuck? One potential solution is dream analysis, which can help you uncover the underlying emotions or situations that are contributing to the dream. Some therapists even use a technique called imagery rehearsal therapy, IRT, to help people overcome recurring nightmares and unsettling dreams. IRT involves mentally rehearsing a new version of the dream, in which the frightening or disturbing elements are replaced with more positive outcomes. Over time, this technique can help reframe the dream and reduce its frequency. Another approach is journaling about the dream. Writing down the details of the recurring dream can help you gain insight into your own emotions and thoughts, and it might even help you identify patterns that are connected to what's happening in your waking life. By consciously engaging with the dream, you can start to take control of the narrative, and in turn reduce the frequency of the dream. In some cases, recurring dreams can also serve a more creative or inspirational purpose. While they are often seen as a reflection of unresolved issues, recurring dreams can also be a way for your brain to stimulate creative problem solving. For example, some artists, writers, and musicians have reported that recurring dreams have inspired their most important works. These dreams can act as a mental sandbox where your brain can safely explore different ideas and scenarios, which can then inform your waking life and creative pursuits. But what if the dream isn't necessarily about a specific problem or emotion? What if it's simply a pattern that your brain is repeating, like some kind of mental loop? This can happen when the brain becomes used to processing certain stimuli or experiences in the same way over time. It's possible that the recurring dream is just the brain's way of reinforcing a particular pattern of thinking or feeling. But again, this usually stems from something deeper in the subconscious. As unsettling as recurring dreams can be, they are often a signal that something in our waking lives needs our attention. Whether it's a lingering fear, unresolved grief, or unaddressed anxiety, recurring dreams are the brain's way of pointing us in the direction of those emotions that need healing or attention. By recognizing the patterns and consciously working through the emotions or situations behind them, you may find that these dreams start to fade, or at the very least, lose some of their intensity. Ultimately, recurring dreams serve as a fascinating reminder of the power of our subconscious minds and their ability to process the complexities of our waking lives in ways we often don't understand. So the next time you find yourself trapped in the same dream for what feels like the 100th time, consider what it might be trying to tell you. It could be the key to unlocking deeper insights into your emotional and mental well-being. Now that we've explored recurring dreams, let's shift gears and focus on something a little more uplifting, the fascinating world of dreams and problem solving. Have you ever woken up with a solution to a problem that you had no idea how to solve the night before? Or maybe a dream seemed to provide clarity on a creative project, relationship issue, or personal dilemma. This phenomenon, where dreams appear to offer problem-solving insights, has captivated scientists, artists, and thinkers for centuries. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Dreams aren't just a place for bizarre imagery and emotional processing. For many, dreams also serve as a kind of mental problem-solving tool. You've probably heard stories of famous thinkers and artists who claim that their greatest ideas came to them in their sleep. The concept of using dreams for inspiration is nothing new. In fact, some of the world's most groundbreaking discoveries have been attributed to insights gained in dreams. One of the most famous examples comes from the chemist Dmitri Mendeleev, who is credited with creating the periodic table of elements. According to Mendeleev, he had a vivid dream where the entire periodic table fell into place in his mind, providing him with the structure that would later become the foundation for his groundbreaking work in chemistry. It's a perfect example of how the brain, when given the right mental tools, can use dreams to solve complex problems. But Mendeleev isn't the only one. The author Mary Shelley is said to have come up with the idea for her novel Frankenstein in a dream. While staying in Lord Byron's house in Switzerland, Shelley had a vivid nightmare about a scientist who created life from dead tissue. This dream inspired her to write one of the most iconic works of Gothic fiction, and its themes of life, death, and the consequences of scientific experimentation still resonate with readers today. There's also Albert Einstein, who famously stated that his dreams helped him come up with the theory of relativity. While he may not have literally dreamed of the math,
Einstein often described how he used his imagination during sleep to visualize complex ideas. It's not uncommon for scientists, mathematicians, and artists to report that their subconscious minds work on problems while they sleep, providing them with breakthrough ideas once they wake up. Some researchers even suggest that when we sleep, our brain continues to work through unresolved problems from the day, and dreams are a reflection of that process. So what exactly is going on in the brain during these moments of dream-inspired problem solving? The answer seems to lie in the brain's ability to connect unrelated information during sleep. While you're awake, your brain is bombarded with external stimuli, and your attention is often split among a million things. But when you sleep, especially during REM sleep, the brain is free to wander without distraction, making new connections between seemingly unrelated pieces of information. This ability to make new connections might explain why some people find solutions to problems in their dreams. When the prefrontal cortex, which governs logic and rational thought, is less active during REM sleep, the brain is freer to experiment with different ideas and possibilities without the usual constraints. It's as if the brain is putting together a puzzle, using pieces it's collected over time, and occasionally coming up with new and creative ways to fit them together. Interestingly, the phenomenon of dream incubation is also linked to problem solving in dreams. Dream incubation is the process of consciously focusing on a problem or question before going to sleep, with the hope that your brain will work on it while you're asleep. Many people use this technique when they're trying to solve a difficult issue, whether it's something as simple as figuring out what to cook for dinner, or something as complex as finding a solution to a work-related challenge. The key to successful dream incubation lies in setting a clear intention before you fall asleep. By mentally rehearsing the issue you want to solve and consciously focusing on it, you might prime your subconscious mind to work on it during the night. This practice is believed to tap into the brain's problem-solving capabilities while it's in a more relaxed, creative state during sleep. For example, writers have often used dream incubation to spark their creativity. Famous authors like Robert Louis Stevenson and J.K. Rowling have admitted that certain plot twists or character ideas came to them through dreams. Stevenson is said to have written his famous novella Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde after a dream he had about the characters, while Rowling was inspired by a dream of a magical school that became Harry Potter. Even in modern-day therapy, some practitioners use dream analysis as a tool for problem solving. By examining the themes, symbols, and emotions present in dreams, individuals can gain insight into areas of their lives where they might feel stuck or uncertain. Often dream therapists encourage their clients to identify recurring themes in their dreams, as these may point to unresolved issues that need to be addressed in the waking world. While not everyone may experience dreams that provide them with clear answers, the idea that dreams can serve as a mental tool for creative problem solving is an exciting concept. Whether it's a scientist working out the details of a complex theory, or an artist sketching out a new project in their sleep, dreams seem to provide a unique space for the brain to tap into creativity and insight. The next time you find yourself stuck on a problem or facing a creative block, try thinking about it before you go to bed. You never know, your brain might just come up with the perfect solution while you're deep in dreamland. As we continue unraveling the mysteries of dreams, let's take a closer look at something that ties our dreams directly to our well-being: the connection between dreams and mental health. Our dreams can provide us with a window into our mental and emotional states, revealing things we might not even realize we're dealing with while awake. But how exactly can dreams offer insight into our psychological health, and what can they tell us about our emotional and mental struggles?
So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. It's no secret that mental health can have a significant impact on our sleep, and in turn our dreams. Many people with mental health conditions, such as anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, or bipolar disorder, experience frequent vivid or disturbing dreams as a result of their emotional state. But it's not just about the quality of sleep. Our dreams themselves can serve as powerful indicators of our psychological health. In fact, some psychologists and therapists believe that analyzing dreams can provide crucial insight into a person's emotional and mental state. For example, people with anxiety disorders might experience dreams that reflect their heightened stress levels, dreams of being chased, lost, or trapped in overwhelming situations. Similarly, people with depression may experience dreams that are characterized by feelings of hopelessness, isolation, or sadness. These dreams are thought to reflect the subconscious mind's attempt to process and cope with difficult emotions or unresolved issues. For individuals with PTSD, nightmares can be particularly vivid and disturbing, often replaying scenes from a traumatic experience. These recurring nightmares may be the brain's attempt to process trauma, but they can also serve as a painful reminder of the emotional pain associated with that trauma. In fact, The prevalence of nightmares in people with PTSD is so significant that many therapists and researchers have focused on imagery rehearsal therapy, IRT, to help individuals reframe their traumatic dreams and reduce the emotional distress associated with them. Through IRT, individuals are taught to change the content of their nightmares while awake, creating new, less disturbing versions of their dreams, which can help alleviate some of the psychological distress. One fascinating aspect of dreams and mental health is the way in which dreams can mirror our emotional processing. For example, after experiencing a stressful event or a period of emotional turmoil, people may find that their dreams become more intense or emotionally charged. These dreams can serve as a kind of emotional release, allowing us to confront difficult emotions in a safe space while we sleep. It's almost like the brain's way of sorting through and processing emotions that we may not be able to fully process while awake. But it's not just the content of dreams that can reveal something about mental health, it's also the frequency and intensity of the dreams. For instance, someone experiencing high levels of stress or anxiety might have frequent nightmares or unsettling dreams, while someone who is experiencing emotional numbness or depression might have fewer dreams or find their dreams to be emotionally flat. In these cases, dreams may act as a kind of emotional barometer, revealing shifts in emotional states that might not be immediately evident in waking life. Interestingly, there's also some evidence to suggest that lucid dreaming can be a helpful tool for managing certain mental health issues. Lucid dreamers, who are aware that they are dreaming and can even control aspects of their dreams, have reported using lucid dreaming as a way to confront their fears, work through anxiety, or process unresolved emotional issues. In fact, studies have shown that lucid dreaming can help people reduce the intensity of their nightmares, especially those related to trauma. By becoming aware that they are dreaming and consciously changing the course of the dream, individuals can regain a sense of control, which can help alleviate the emotional distress caused by the nightmares. But while dreams can provide valuable insights into our emotional health, they can also serve as a mirror to our psychological defenses. For example, dreams of falling, being lost, or losing control are common among people who are feeling insecure or uncertain in their waking lives. These dreams may reflect a subconscious fear of losing control, failure, or not being able to handle life's challenges. On the other hand, flying dreams often represent a sense of freedom, empowerment, and control, indicating a person's desire to break free from limitations or obstacles in their life. These types of dreams can reveal the inner conflicts we might not fully recognize during the day, offering us a chance to address unresolved emotional tensions. One of the most significant ways that dreams can impact our mental health is through their therapeutic potential. Dream analysis has been used in psychotherapy for centuries, and some psychologists still use it today as a tool to help patients explore their subconscious thoughts and emotions. By examining the symbols, emotions, and themes present in dreams, therapists can gain insight into a person's inner world and help them uncover unresolved issues. This can be especially helpful for people who have difficulty verbalizing their emotions or processing complex feelings. In some cases, simply reflecting on the meaning of a dream can provide profound emotional insights and facilitate personal growth. The connection between dreams and mental health also underscores the importance of quality sleep, since sleep plays such a significant role in emotional regulation. Ensuring that we get enough rest is essential for maintaining mental well-being. Sleep deprivation, or disrupted sleep patterns, can exacerbate mental health issues, leading to more intense or disturbing dreams. By prioritizing good sleep hygiene and managing stress, individuals can reduce the likelihood of experiencing nightmares or emotionally charged dreams, which can, in turn, improve overall mental health. In conclusion, dreams are far more than just random imagery. They are deeply intertwined with our mental and emotional well-being. By paying attention to our dreams, we can gain valuable insights into our subconscious mind, identify unresolved emotional issues, and better understand our inner world. Whether they bring clarity, relief, or challenge, our dreams hold the key to understanding the complexities of our mental health. Now that we've explored the deep connection between dreams and mental health, let's take a step forward and look at the future of dream research. While we've come a long way in understanding why we dream and what our dreams may mean, the science of dreams is still in its infancy. What are the most exciting areas of dream research today, and what could the future hold for unlocking the mysteries of the sleeping mind? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. When it comes to dream research, we're in an exciting era of discovery. Thanks to advances in technology, brain imaging, and neuroscience, we're getting closer to understanding how and why we dream. But despite the progress, we still have a long way to go before we fully unravel the complex process that occurs when our minds enter the dream state. So what's on the horizon for dream research, and how might the study of dreams evolve in the coming years?
One of the most fascinating areas of dream research involves brain imaging. Over the past few decades, scientists have made tremendous strides in using technologies like fMRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging, and EEG, electroencephalography, to observe the brain in real time. These techniques have allowed researchers to observe which parts of the brain are active during sleep, and by extension, which parts of the brain are involved in dream generation. What's particularly exciting about this research is that scientists are beginning to decode the patterns of brain activity that correspond to specific dreams. In a groundbreaking study, researchers were able to use fMRI technology to track brain activity while participants were dreaming. They could even predict what images the participants were seeing, based on the patterns of brain activity. This kind of research opens up the possibility of reading dreams directly from the brain, a huge leap forward in the study of consciousness and dream science. But it's not just about understanding what's happening in the brain during sleep. Scientists are also exploring how dreams can be influenced. There is growing interest in the idea of dream manipulation, the ability to control or guide the content of dreams. While lucid dreaming has been studied for decades, recent research is pushing the boundaries even further. In some experiments, researchers are attempting to use sensory stimuli, such as sounds or smells during sleep, to influence the direction of dreams. For example, playing a specific sound during REM sleep could potentially help induce a specific dream or steer the dreamer toward a desired emotional state. This research has implications beyond just curiosity about the brain. It could have practical applications in areas like therapy and mental health. Imagine being able to help people with PTSD by guiding them toward less frightening versions of their nightmares, or helping someone with anxiety confront their fears in a controlled, dream-based setting. The idea of dream manipulation could revolutionize the way we approach certain psychological disorders, providing a unique tool for emotional regulation and healing. Another area of dream research gaining momentum is the study of dream content. Historically, dream analysis was the realm of psychoanalysts, with practitioners like Freud and Jung attempting to interpret the symbols in dreams. But modern researchers are taking a more data-driven approach. Some studies have started to categorize and analyze the types of dreams people experience, looking for patterns and correlations between dream content and personality traits, life events, or mental health conditions. For example, studies have shown that people with high levels of stress are more likely to have dreams involving conflict, being chased, or feeling trapped, while people with more positive mental health may experience more positive dreams. The goal of this research is to build a more comprehensive understanding of how dreams reflect our waking lives. By studying large datasets of dream reports, researchers are working toward creating models that can predict the content of a person's dreams based on psychological or emotional factors. This could lead to more personalized approaches to therapy, where a person's dreams are used as a diagnostic tool to identify underlying emotional or psychological issues. One of the most exciting developments on the horizon is the possibility of dream recording. While this might sound like science fiction, researchers are actively investigating whether it's possible to record and interpret dreams with the help of advanced neurotechnology. Imagine a world where you could record your dreams and play them back, much like watching a video. This might sound far-fetched, but with the rapid development of brain-machine interfaces and technologies like neural decoding, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. While we're still a long way from creating dream recording devices, the progress in this area is nothing short of astounding. The potential for dream recording and manipulation goes beyond just novelty. It could fundamentally alter the way we approach our understanding of consciousness and self-awareness. By being able to access and study the actual content of dreams, we could gain deeper insight into the subconscious mind and the mechanisms that drive our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. For instance, it could be possible to study how dreams relate to memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and even learning processes. Another promising area of research is the role of dreams in creativity. As we've already discussed, some of history's greatest creative minds have credited their ideas to inspiration from dreams. But now researchers are looking at whether dreams can actually enhance creativity in the general population. Studies have shown that dreams can help solve problems or provide creative insights, so scientists are exploring how to harness this potential on a larger scale. Could we teach ourselves to dream more creatively, or learn to tap into the problem-solving power of our subconscious minds while we sleep? The possibilities are endless, and this could have a significant impact on fields ranging from art to business to scientific innovation.
The future of dream research is an exciting and rapidly evolving field. As technology advances and our understanding of the brain deepens, we may find ourselves unlocking even more secrets of the sleeping mind. Whether it's through manipulating dreams for therapeutic purposes, understanding how dreams reflect our psychological state, or even recording and revisiting our dreams, the future of dreaming holds endless potential for discovery. And who knows, the next big breakthrough in science or creativity might just come from the sleep we experience tonight. As we reach the final chapter of our dream journey, let's wind down by reflecting on everything we've explored. From the science of dreams to their emotional and psychological significance, dreams have proven to be far more than just random images and scenarios. They're windows into our subconscious minds, filled with insights, emotions, and creative potential. But what do we do with all this knowledge? What role do dreams play in our daily lives, and how can we use them to improve our waking experiences? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see where all the dreamers are tuning in from tonight. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Throughout our exploration, we've learned that dreams are an essential part of the human experience. They serve many purposes, from memory consolidation to emotional processing and even problem solving. As we've seen, dreams are influenced by everything from our daily lives to our deepest fears, desires, and cultural beliefs. And while the science of dreaming is still evolving, one thing is clear: our dreams are far more than just fleeting moments in the night. They're reflections of our inner worlds, our emotions, and even our creative potential. What's remarkable is that our understanding of dreams has come a long way, but we're still only scratching the surface. With advances in technology, brain imaging, and neurobiology, we are beginning to understand more about how dreams are created and how they function. But the true power of dreams may lie in how we use them. We've learned that dreams can offer insight into unresolved emotions, help us process trauma, and even inspire creativity. By paying attention to our dreams and reflecting on their meanings, we have the potential to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. For those who experience nightmares or recurring dreams, there is hope. Techniques like imagery rehearsal therapy and dream analysis can help people confront their fears, reduce anxiety, and reframe their dreams in a more positive light. By engaging with our dreams consciously, we can begin to take control of what once seemed like uncontrollable experiences. But dreams aren't just a tool for addressing emotional struggles. They also serve as a creative playground for our minds. As we've seen with historical figures like Mary Shelley, Dmitri Mendeleev, and Albert Einstein, dreams have the potential to spark breakthrough ideas and provide solutions to problems that have stumped us in our waking lives. It's not just about discovering answers, it's about exploring new possibilities, gaining fresh perspectives, and tapping into the subconscious mind's vast reservoir of creative potential. The future of dream research holds even more promise. As we continue to explore ways to manipulate and influence our dreams, there may come a time when we can deliberately guide our dreams for personal growth, emotional healing, or creative exploration. Imagine a world where we could not only understand our dreams, but also consciously shape them to align with our goals and desires. Dream technology, dream analysis, and the potential for dream recording are just the beginning, and the possibilities for how dreams could change our understanding of the mind are endless. But beyond the science and techniques, it's important to remember that dreams are a deeply personal experience. They reflect our unique emotional landscapes, our fears, our hopes, and even our spiritual beliefs. Whether your dreams are peaceful or terrifying, insightful or confusing, they are part of what makes you who you are. By embracing your dreams and allowing them to guide you, you can open up new avenues of self-awareness and emotional growth. As we close this journey into the world of dreams, take a moment to reflect on the dreams you've had recently. What do they say about you? What unresolved emotions, desires, or fears might they be pointing to? And perhaps most importantly, what could your dreams teach you about yourself, your waking life, and your potential for growth? Now, as you drift off to sleep tonight, remember that your brain is hard at work. It's processing your thoughts, emotions, and experiences, helping you navigate your inner world. Whether you recall your dreams in the morning or not, rest assured that your mind is still busy, sorting, sifting, and organizing all the pieces of your waking life. And who knows, the answers, the solutions, and the inspiration you've been seeking might just come to you in the form of a dream. Sweet dreams.